Good evening, good people. Good evening, good evening. We are here for paper two, business studies paper two, as I promised, good people. As I promised, never leave you. I will always be there for you. So today we're gonna be very quick, guys. We're gonna be very quick because our time has been eaten by dogs. Tomorrow you are writing your paper two business studies. Do we understand? You are writing paper two business studies, which you are writing afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. By 2 o'clock, you are writing your paper on the 30th of November. Do we understand, good people? So here, I will be sharing with you the very important information that you would need for you to pass your final examination. Do we understand, good? So what I will do, first of all, I'm going to give you the are going to show up, right? Essays that may show up. Then second, to give you how can they ask questions when it comes to business studies. I hope we understand, good people. Remember, on business studies, we have two main topics. As I always emphasize, that you must choose the topic that you are better at. Then we have business ventures and business roles. And this topic, one of them contain 5 subtopics. Do we understand? They all contain 5 subtopics. That means in order for you to pass a business studies paper 2, you must be able to know 10 chapters. Do we understand? Guys, I don't know what should I do about my network because I'm using Wi-Fi here. I thought it's the best way or the best thing to use, but if it's giving us a problem, hey, I also do not know what's gonna happen, good people. Do we understand? So in this two topic, guys, I will first tell you what's gonna happen. Paper 2, I'm saying that it consists of 2 topics: ventures and business roles. Do we understand? Some of you, if you understand the most business ventures, you must make sure that when you get your final examination, question 1, question 4, and question 5. Do we understand? Don't even try to attempt answering question 3 if you want to choose business ventures. Do we understand? And then when you write about business roles, you must make sure that when you get answer question 1, question 3, and question 4, and question 5. Do we understand, good people? I hope we understand what I am saying to you. I hope we are understanding what I am saying to you. I hope we understand what I'm saying to you. So the paper that we are going to write tomorrow is going to be 150 marks. It's going to be 150 marks. So guys, I want to repeat myself. The questions that they are going to ask on the multiple choice questions. Do we understand, good people? On choice questions, which is question 1. On question 1, that is compulsory to ask you guys, there will be a management and leadership. Can you please, do we understand? I will give you question 1, then after the essays, then I come back to the questions of the question paper. I'm saying in question 1, you're gonna find what? You're gonna find management and leadership. Management and leadership, you are going to find it where? In question, going to be there. And remember, guys, what I love about question 1, it's compulsory. Answers are there. It's all about you. Whether do you know the notes? Did you study the notes? Do we understand? That's what matters, because the answers are going to be there. You write something that is written from 1.1 to 1.2 and 1.3. The answers are there, good people. Do we understand? So I'm saying you're gonna find management and leadership on question 1. I guess I should tell you the second question now, or the second topic, the second topic that you are going to find on question 1. I said management and leadership. And guys, remember me if you are not going to listen to what I'm telling you. Do you understand? Yes, after giving you question 1, I'm going to the essays. I'm going to give you the essays. Do we understand? I'm saying the first topic that we are going to find on the ones of the multiple management and leadership. I move to the second topic now. The second topic that we are going to find, question 1, it's going to be what investment securities. Investment securities is going to be there. Thank you, Tsakani. Investment securities is going to be there. Do we understand, good people? Investment securities is going to be there. I said management and leadership, and then investment securities, and also the forms of ownership. They are going to be there. Forms of ownership, they are going to be there, good people. Forms of ownership, they are going to be what? In question 1. Do we understand? Going to be there in question 1. Then, and also the presentation and that. Do we understand, good people? Presentation and data respond is going to be in question 1. I hope it makes sense. I hope you wrote everything that I said to you, because now I have to move to the essays. Anyone to be left behind, guys. I don't want anyone to be left behind, good people. This network is the one that is going to give us a problem. This network is the one that is going to give us the problem. Presentation and data response. Presentation and data. Let me repeat the topics again. We're going to find what? Leadership. Number 2, we're going to find what? Investment securities. Number 3, we're going to find what? Forms of ownership. Number 4, we're going to find what? Presentation and data response. These are what, guys? These of what? These are the topics of business ventures. So I am simply telling you that on business ventures, question 1, what they are going to ask you, they will ask about management and leadership, and then investment securities. They will also ask about what forms of ownership and presentation and data response. I hope it makes sense. For business ventures on question 1, that's what they are going to ask about. Then we move forward. For the topic of business roles, things that you are going to find on paper 1, you're going to find ethics and professionalism. You're going to find ethics and professionalism, guys. We're going to find ethics and professionalism. Business roles, we are going to find creative thinking and problem solving. Understand, good people? And then the other topic on business roles that we're going to find on question 1 is going to be what? Team performance and conflict management. Team performance and conflict management. It's going to be there. Team performance and conflict management. It's going to be there. And then the other one that we are going to find on question 1, we are going to find what? We are going to find human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, good people. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. That next time when I'm like this, it will help you. You understand? Human rights and environmental issues. inclusivity, and environmental issues. Then the last topic that you're going to find on question 1, it's going to be what? Social responsibility, which is what? CSR and CSI. They're going. So now, guys, I want to give you the essays before we go further. Do we understand? The essays that you must expect in your final examination for both topics. I'm gonna give you the essays for both topics. I hope we understand, guys. I hope we are understanding. I hope we are understanding what I'm talking about. Can I move to the essays? Can I say a comment that is approving that I should move to the essay? Move to the question. I mean, can I move? Okay. People are approving that we should move. People, they approve it that we should move to the essays. So guys, on the essays, there is something that I want to make you aware of. Ne? I will start with a business venture. I'm gonna start with business ventures, guys. I'm going to start ventures and I'm going to give you the questions that may show up in your essay. I'm going to give you the questions that may show up in your essays. I'm going to give you the questions that may show up in your essay. I just believe that we are all prepared for the essays. So here are the essays, guys. On business ventures, it's going to be investment, securities, and insurance. Investment, securities, and insurance. Investment, securities, and insurance. It's going to be investment, securities, and insurance. Investment, securities, and insurance. Number 2, management and leadership. It's going to be there in your essay. It's going to be there in your essay. For question 5, guys, this is business ventures. Do we understand? These are the business ventures. Do we understand, good people? I hope there are there people who say a comment so that can I say a comment? Person wants to write business ventures so that I can give you the essays. Okay, people want to write business ventures a year. A year, guys. So I'm saying now your essay, it's what? Investment, securities, and management and leadership. Do we understand? Then on business roles, under business roles, guys, the essay is going to be what? Social responsibility. It's going to be what? Social responsibility. Roles, the essay is going to be what? Social responsibility, which is what? Social responsibility, which is CSR and CSI. Do we understand, good people? It's going to be CSR and CSI. So you must make sure that you do not sleep without reading what? CSI and CSR and CSI. Notes if you want to write question 6 as business role. Makes sense, good people? I hope it makes sense. My good people, I hope it makes sense. Yes. So now I want us to move of the essay that is going to ventures, because I can see that there are people who wants to business ventures, guys. And then after business ventures, I will have to make sure that I go to business roles, and then we are, because you still need to study, good people. We are not here to waste time, but to make sure that I help you in your studies. I'm here to make sure that I help you with your studies. I hope it makes sense, my good people. I hope it makes sense. So now, guys, since I said, look, now, do you know what I want from you now? I want you to take out the notes of leadership style, actual management and leadership. If you have the notes of leadership, management and leadership, take them out and tell you what you should not study. Do we? I'm now talking about what? Question 4 and question 5. If you don't have the notes, you must write the questions that I'm giving you. Then you go to my YouTube and watch the videos. Do we understand, good people? Hope we are understanding. So, guys, the first that you should know, you must know what? The management and leadership. On the notes of management and leadership, the entire chapter, guys, can you please hear me clearly? The entire chapter, they are not going to ask you a lot of questions. Do you hear what I'm saying? They are not going to ask you a lot of questions. But they will ask you 7 questions. If you take this for granted, you will be crying tomorrow. They will ask you 7 topics. They will ask you, they are going to say why the leadership from a given scenario and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. That's the first question that you are going to be asked under what? Management and leadership. You are going to be asked 7 questions under the notes of management. Do we understand? They are going to ask you that you must identify the leader from a given scenario and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. The second question that they are going to ask you, guys, the second question that they're going to ask you, they are going to say to you, identify the leadership theory from given scenario. Oh, guys, this one is very nice. You all take on the scenario. You take on the scenario, guys. That's the second question. I said they will ask you how many questions? 7 questions. Do we understand, good people? The third question that they are going to ask you under to want the impact of the leadership theories. The impact of the leadership theories. Do we understand, good people? The theories of the management, of the leadership theories. The question number 4 that they are going to ask you on business ventures, and they are going to ask you what? The situation in which leadership style can be applied. The situation in which leadership applied. Some of you are still asking that, how do I know? I don't know anything, I'm guessing. I don't know anything, I'm guessing. So let us move on. Question number 5 that you are going to be asked in management and leadership. Guys, what I did not say in the video, you don't study it. You study what I said. to you. Do we understand, good people? Start didn't mention because it's not going to show up. Question number 5 that you're going to be asked, they will say, discuss the leadership theory or transformation theory. Do we understand, good people? That's what they're going to ask you. I said questions under what? Management and leadership. So now I gave you. Do you understand? I gave you 5 questions. So you must make sure that you open these 5 things in your notes. Do we understand, good people? Those I didn't mention, stay away from it. Do we understand? Question number 6 that you're going to be asked in what? In management and leadership. They will say, this one, guys, it's under what? The role of personal attitude in successful leadership. How should you behave for you to be what? A successful leadership. What should you do as a team to be what? A successful leadership. We can say, yeah, they will say to you, discuss the role of personal attitude in successful leadership. Do you understand? Other. The values or the shared values of each other. Do we understand? The last question that they are going to ask you under management and leadership, they are going to say, quote, the role of in successful leadership in the scenario. That's it. We go home with our marks. I'm telling what I think will come out. I don't have a question paper. Who can get the question paper? No one has a question paper in South Africa. Even your teacher does not have question paper. No one has a question paper. I also don't have a question paper. Do we understand, good people? Guys, here. So I hope you of management and leadership. I'm saying go and study 7 things only. Go and study 7 things. But when you fail, don't come here and say, I'm that you must study 7 things. I'm just playing, guys. No one is going to fail. Ne? I'm just playing. No one is going to fail. So we close the chapter of what? Of management and leadership. We now move to what? Investment securities. On investment securities, they are going to ask you going to ask you 14 questions. Investment, insurance, ask you. I mean, and on they're going to ask. Do we understand, good people? They're going to ask you 14 questions. I said on question on management and leadership, they are going to ask you 7 questions, and then on 6, they're going to ask you 14 questions. I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense, my good people. Go and pass, guys. Kasi, go and pass, good people. Just go and pass this examination. Go and pass the examination, guys. Do we understand, good people? Go and pass the examination, guys. I hope we got what's going to show up under what management and leadership. We are now moving towards securities. If you have the notes of securities, make sure that you take them out, then you write down what I'm saying, or you go and just mark the notes there. They are going to be the function of JSE. The functions of JSE is going to be there. The functions of JSE is going to be there, guys. The functions of JSE is going to be there. And they are going to say to you, discuss or explain the functions of Johannesburg Security Exchange. They are going to say to you, explain or discuss the function of Johannesburg Securities Exchange, or JSE. Do we understand, good people? We are prophesying the paper here. Yo, way. You understand? The functions of JSE, they are going to be there. The functions of JSE, they are going to be there. They will say, discuss the functions of Johannesburg Securities Exchange. Do you understand, good people? And then the other question that you're going to find, other securities, they are going to say the factors to consider when making investment decision. Number one, they will say you must liquidate. You must make sure that you know liquidate. Number two, you must know. Number three, you must know inflation rate. Investment term or period. Risk. Number seven, you must know, good people. I hope we are getting it. I am saying to you, factors to be considered when making investment decision. Can you hear me now, guys? Do you hear me? Some people are saying they don't hear me. Some of them, they say they hear me. Maybe it's not my network. This network wants to come here with the barbaric games here. It wants to come with Operation Rolling Thunder. We don't want Operation Rolling Thunder here. Okay, let me continue. When it becomes off, you will. So, okay, now guys, we are saying factors to be considered when making investment decision. I'm saying you will find liquidate. You must know liquidate. That's number one. Number two, you must find taxation. You must find inflation rate. Number four, you must find investment term or period. Number six, you must find risk. Number seven, you must know the return on investment. Do we understand, good people? I hope we understand now. So you must know all of them. because they are going to be there, all of them. I'm sure they will ask you to give 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. So you must make sure that you go and watch the videos whereby I was teaching them, or you go and study. Do we understand, good people? Then let us move to another that they will ask. I'm going to say 4 forms of investment, which is what RSA, retail savings bonds. It's what unit trust, shares, and fixed deposit. Do we understand, good people? They are going to say, identify the form of from the given scenario and motivate. You must identify the form from the given scenario and motivate. Do we understand, people? And remember, guys, if you can find the wrong one, then you motivate correct, you are not going to get marks. Usually this question, it carries 3 marks. Do we understand? It carries 3 marks. So if ever you are going to get the coding correct and then you get the answer wrong, that means you are not going to get the mark. The second question that they're going to ask, the 4 forms of investment, which is what retail savings bonds and unit trust, shares, and fixed deposit. They are going to say, explain the impact retail savings, trust, shares, and fixed deposit. And guys, I'm saying to you, not tell you here, you don't study it. Study what I have told you. You will thank me later. You are going to remember me. I hope now we move forward to the next one. Let us move to the forms of 4 types of shares. We have 4 types of shares. What are those shares, guys? 4 types of shares. What do we have and what and what and what? 4 types of shares. Okay. Yes, we have ordinary shares. We have founders. We have bonuses. Do we understand, good people? We have preference shares. We have ordinary shares. We have bonuses. We have founders shares. So on those 4 shares, the questions, they're going to ask you 2 questions. They are going to say, identify of shares from the given scenario. So you must know that we have ordinary share, preference share, founders shares, and bonuses shares. So they will say you must identify in a scenario that which one is in the scenario. And then the other one, they will say, discuss the types of shares. They are going to say, discuss the types of shares. Remember, guys, we are still in investment securities. We are still in investment securities. The other question that they are going to ask, they will talk about what? The types of preference shares. They will ask you types of preference shares. They will say, name type of preference. You must be able to name type of preference. Name of preferences. They are going to say, name types of preferences. Do we understand, good people? Number 2, they are going to say, identify the types of preference given scenario. Identify the types of preference a given scenario. Do we understand, good people? Number 3, they are going to say, discuss types of preference shares. They are going to say, discuss types of preference shares. Discuss types of preference shares. The other question that they are going to ask you, they will say the rights of ordinary and preference shareholders. It's going to be there. The right of ordinary and preference shares is going to be there. For those ones who want to write business ventures, which answer question 4 and question 5. But for those ones who want to write business roles, I'm going to tell you what's going to show up on business roles. Understand, good people. Then the meaning of concept that you are going to find for those ones who want to do a business venture. Number 1, it will be what? The debtor, guys. On the debtor, you're gonna find it, ne? Debtors. You must know the meaning of debtor. It's going to be asked. You must know the meaning of what? Of debtor. Debtor is going to be asked. Number 2, dividend. You must know the meaning of what? Of dividend. Dividend is going to be asked. Number 3, you must know the meaning of what? Of capital gain. You must know the meaning of capital gain. Number 4, you must know the meaning of simple and compound interest. Simple and compound interest. Do we understand, good people? Those are the meanings or the concept that you are going to find which meanings in the question paper. Then there will be also the calculations. Calculations will be there. Calculations. They will say to you, calculate the simple and compound interest from a given scenario. So you must make sure that you bring your calculator if you want to write business ventures. They will say simple and compound interest, a given scenario. Calculate the simple and compound interest from a given scenario. That question is going to be there. Number 2, they will say to you, recommend the best investment option based on the calculations. You must recommend the best investment option based on the calculations. Then the third question that they're going to ask under calculation, they will say distinguish between simple and compound interest. So you must know the difference between what? Simple interest and compound interest. It makes sense, my good people. Management and leadership, and I'm also done with investment. We are now moving to investment insurance. We are now moving to note of investment insurance, guys. On the note of investment, let me give you the questions that you are going to find under investment insurance. You are going to find 12 questions whereby they are asking you about what? Insurance, investment insurance. There will be 12 questions. There will be 12 questions that you will be asked. Number 1, remember, guys, we have insurance concept, right? We have insurance concept, which is number 1, we have a what? Over insurance. We have under insurance. We have average clouds. Restatement. We have access. Do we understand? So the first question that they're going to ask you, they will say, elaborate the meaning of the concept. Elaborate on the meaning of what? Of the concept. The second question that they're going to ask you, they will say, explain the difference between over and under insurance. Guys, the questions that I'm giving you now, you are going to find them there. Explain the difference between over and under insurance. Number 3, they are going to say to you, differentiate between insurance and assurance. Examples. Do we understand, good people? The last question that they're going to ask you, they will say, give examples of short-term and long-term insurance. I hope it makes sense. Then when we move to the principles of insurance, they are only going to ask you 2 questions on the principles of insurance. Do we understand? On the principles of insurance, they are going to ask you that you must identify the principle of insurance from a given scenario. Do we understand? You must do what? You must identify the principle of insurance from a given scenario. Number 2, they will say to you, explain or discuss the following principles of insurance that you found there in the scenario. Do we understand, good people? Then there will also be calculations. On the calculations, guys, they are going to ask you only 1 question. They will say apply the average clouds to calculate the compensation in the case of under insurance. You must apply the average clouds to calculate the compensation in the case of what? Of under insurance. Then when we go to the advantages of insurance, they're going to ask you 2 questions only. They are going to say, discuss the advantages or the importance of insurance. That question is going to be there. Discuss the advantages or the importance of what? Of insurance. What is it important for you to have insurance? Do you understand? And then you must also explain the meaning of insurable and in non-insurable risk. Do we understand, good people? Explain the meaning of insurable and non-insurable risk. Those are some other things that you're going to find. Then, guys, you will also be asked about what? The compulsory insurance. So you must know the compulsory insurance. The compulsory insurance. Number 1, they are going to say, name 3 types of compulsory insurance. Name 3 types of compulsory insurance. The second question that they are going to say, they will ask you that you must explain 3 types of compulsory insurance, which you must explain unemployment insurance fund. That's number 1. Number 2, you must explain the road accident fund compensation for occupational injuries and diseases. Do we understand, good people? Then they will also ask you that you must differentiate between compulsory and non-compulsory insurance. We are done with what? Insurance notes, guys. Now we are moving to the notes of what? Forms of ownership. Open the notes of forms of ownership where you are, so that when I'm telling you that this is what they're going to show up in your exam, you must know that that's the only thing that is going to show up. On the forms of ownership, they didn't ask you a lot of things. They only ask you 5 questions. You're going to find 5 questions. You're going to find 5 questions, guys. Under the forms of ownership, you are going to find 5 questions. So what I'm telling you, you must make sure that you write it down and go and study it. What I didn't teach you it won't show up. I hope we understand. And guys, hear me clearly. I don't have a question paper. No one is having a question paper. I'm using the knowledge that I have when it comes to business studies. Even those ones I was teaching history yesterday, they did found what I was telling them because of what the experience that I have. Do we understand, good people? So I'm saying to you now, on the forms of ownership, only 5 questions that may pop out, which is what they will say on the meaning of limited and unlimited liability. They're going to ask you 4 things. On the meaning of what limited and unlimited liability, they're going to ask you 4 things. Do we understand, good people? They are going to ask you that you must explain the meaning of limited and unlimited liability. Explain the meaning of limited and unlimited liability. Do we understand, good people? They are going to ask you that you must discuss the characteristics of ownership. Discuss characteristics of each form of ownership. Discuss the characteristics of each form of what of ownership. Question 3 that they are going to ask you, they will say to you, or discuss the impact of the different forms of ownership. Discuss the impact of the different forms of ownership. Do we understand, my good people? Do we understand what we are talking about? Then the last question that they are going to ask you, they will say, explain the difference between private and public company. You must explain the difference between public and private company. Private company and public company. You must differentiate between those two. Understand? Then on the criteria for success and failure of the business, they are going to ask you only one question. They are going to ask you only one question. They are going to ask the following criteria contribute to the success or failure. Number 1, it is management. Number 2, it's going to be what? Taxation. Number 3 is going to be what? Division. Division of profits. It's going to be what? Division of profit. And then the last one is going to be what? Legislation. Do we understand, good people? And then now, let us move to the notes of presentation. Let us move on the notes of presentation. This is the last topic we're going to find for those who want to answer question 1, question 2, question 4, and question 5. Do we understand, good people? Zanele, thank you very much. Zanele, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Zanele. I really appreciate it. So under presentation and data response, they are going to ask you how many questions? 9 questions, guys. They are going to ask you 9 questions. So on the things that I didn't mention, don't even look at it. Don't even look at it, good people. Do we understand, my good people? So this is how it is. Make sure that you focus here on this one. We are talking about presentation. Open the notes of presentation now. Then you mark what I keep on saying. That's the only thing that you must study. Do we understand, good people? Do we understand, my good people? Under presentation, guys, there are factors that must be considered. They will ask you 4 questions on the factors that must be considered. They will ask how many questions? 4 questions on the factors that must be considered. Number 1, they will say discuss the factors that must be considered when preparing for a presentation. Discuss the factors that must be considered when preparing for a presentation. Do we understand, good people? That's the first question. The second question, guys, that they're going to ask you, they will say, explain factors that are considered by a presenter while presenting. That's the second question. Do we understand, good people? That question that they're going to ask you the presentation, they are going to say, explain how to respond to questions after a presentation in a non-aggressive and professional manner. Do we understand, good people? The last question that they're going to ask you on the factors that must be considered. Explain how to handle feedback or question in a non-aggressive and professional manner. We done. Do we understand, good people? Then on the areas of improvement, they are going to ask you only one question. On the areas of improvement, they are going to ask you only one question. They are going to say, recommend areas of improvement in the next presentation. Do we understand, good people? Do we understand, my good people? Let us go and pass examination, guys. Find on a data response. The factors that must be considered when designing multiple media presentation, they are going to ask you only questions. Say, explain the aspect that must be considered when designing a multimedia presentation. I hope it makes sense. You must explain the aspect that must be considered when designing a multimedia presentation. That question is going to be there. The second question, guys, that is going to be there. They will say, give verbal presentation and non-verbal presentation. Do we understand, good people? Then you go fail. No, you can't fail, guys. On that one, I really refuse. I really refuse. That is why I always pray for you that you must go and pass. And guys, you must also pray and make sure that you even pray for people who will be marking your papers. Do we understand, good people? You cannot fail. You can't fail, good people. Question that I want you to know, the visual aids. They're going to ask you about what? The visual aids. On the visual aids, they're going to say, identify visual from a given scenario and motivate your answer by from the scenario. Do we understand, good people? Yes, make eye contact during the presentation. And then the last question, discuss the impact of visual aids. Do we understand? So guys, are we all covered on how to write the, so that I can move to what, to business roles? Just let me hear that if there is anyone who's lacking on how to write the introduction and how to write the body and how to write the structure of the essay of business studies. Because remember guys, in business studies essay, you are given 8 marks freely to write the essay in a corrective way. Already you have obtained 8 marks. What with you are left with 32 marks of the points that you will be providing. Do we understand? Okay, guys, we are now moving to business people. But before we move to business role, let me give you the essay questions for uh, investment securities. Number one, outline the difference between outline the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Outline the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Number two, explain the advantages of a fixed deposit as a form of investment. Explain the advantages of a fixed deposit as a form of investment. Number three, they will say discount of shares. Number four, you must advise businesses on the function of Johannesburg Securities Exchange. So you must be able to outline functions of JSE and describe 4 types of preference shares and what, evaluate on the impact of what, of the RSA retail savings bond. Do we understand? And advise businesses on the difference between what, the simple and compound interest. We go and get our 40 marks. We go and get our 40 marks. As I said, you must be able to discuss what the functions of JSE and be able to explain the factors that must be considered when making an investment decision. Return on investment, you must consider it. That when I invest certain amount, this is the return that I'm going to get. Do we understand, guys? And then there is also investment period. There is also risk. There is also period of investment. There is also inflation rate. Do we understand? And then describe 4 types of shares and advise businesses on the impact of unit and a good investment. Do we understand, good people? So let us start with the essay now of what, of business roles. We are now going to business roles. I will start with the essay, good people. Let us now go to the business role, because I can see that a lot of people, they've been waiting for business role, good people. So make sure that you prepare your pen or the paper, and make sure that you write what I'm going to tell you, right? Do we understand, good people? And please, if you have been subscribed on the channel, make sure to subscribe so that you can get distinctions like I did the year I was 12. You understand? Make sure you get distinctions. Guys, the advantage of getting distinctions, even though you can try to get 4 distinctions, are you aware that you will be able to get a bursary that is going to fund you 5,000 and the accommodation? Just imagine, you are still a student, you are 5,000 of a bursary that you don't have to pay it back. You understand? As long as you get your degree, you can get a bursary that is going to fund you 5,000 a month. Do we understand, good people? Now we are moving forward. We are now moving forward to what? The essay of what? Of business roles, which is what? Social responsibility and CSR and CSI. Do we understand, good people? Some other comments, we are not going to entertain them because we are born not equal. Even our mentality is not the same. Do we understand? So there are certain things that you just have to avoid. They say clever people solve problems, but genius solve. Clever people solve problems, but genius avoids. Do we understand, good people? So upstairs, some other people, there is a problem, but we are not going to entertain them. Do we understand, good people? Clever people want to solve problem, but genius just avoids. Do we understand? So I'm going to act like a genius. I'm going to avoid now. Do we understand? The first question that we should expect on the essay of CSR and CSI, right? Must be able to outline, guys, the different. You must be able to outline the purpose of corporate social investment. Do we understand? You must be able to outline the purpose of corporate social investment, which is what? CSI. Do we understand, guys? Remember, CSI, guys, it's here to improve the life of communities. Do we understand, people? It's here to improve the life of what? Of the communities. Do we understand, people? Do we understand, people? Guys, everyone feel welcome here, regardless of the color, regardless of the language that you speak, regardless of the ethics or the logistics. Do we understand, guys? Just feel welcome, don't feel excluded. We are all human beings, regardless of your color, regardless of the language, age, and so forth and so on, and even financial status. Do we understand? We cannot be differentiating people because of the things that they cannot change. You understand? You cannot change your language, you cannot change your color, and so forth and so on. Do we understand? Even though someone called me Nigerian here, I don't know why they're calling me Nigerian. I'm a South African, guys. I'm from Guyana, Limpopo. So those ones who call me Nigerian, they can call me Nigerian. They didn't take anything from me. Do we understand? So, but anyways, it's fine. We are not here to bully people or intimidate people. We are here to learn. Do we understand? I want every one of you to feel welcome, regardless of the color that you are or a language that you speak. You understand? As a human being, you have a right to enjoy being a human being. Do we understand? You must enjoy being a human being. Don't feel excluded. Do you understand, good people? Everyone here have a right to enjoy being a human being. You understand? Don't regret for you to be black. Don't regret to be Indian. Don't regret to be white. Do you understand? You're all the same. There is nothing that is different. The blood is red, all of us. So don't feel excluded. We are all here to learn. Do we understand, good people? So now I'm saying now the first question that you should know is that outline the purpose of corporate social investment, which is CSI. You must know it, good people. Do we understand? And then these people, I think a lot of you, you used to attend stock fair whereby you are arguing. Yeah, we are not in stock fair here. We are learning. We are not in stock fair. You didn't. Yeah, short mali. Yeah, pay this. No, no, no. We are not in stock fair here. We are learning business studies. It's not like you're gonna say, "Oh, Gogos basa akakhiphanga 500 usakolo." We are not in stock fair here. We are learning business studies. So now, this is how it is, guys. Outline the purpose of corporate social investment. Do we understand, good people? Corporate, yes, corporate social investment. You must know it. Do we understand? Number two, you must discuss the impact of corporate social responsibility, which is CSR on businesses. Do we understand, good people? You must know it. Discuss the impact of corporate social responsibility. Do we understand? On where? On business. Remember, guys, we have on community and on business. I hope we understand. Don't lose that content. So now I'm talking about what? On business. Do we understand? Number three, you must be able to explain ways in which businesses can contribute time and effort in improving the well-being of employees. Do we understand? So guys, I'm a history teacher. Don't make my political conscience to kick in, because you are not going to win. You understand? If you will come here with politics, we are not going to win. Do we understand? So don't come here with barbaric games here. So explain ways in which businesses can contribute time and effort in improving what? The well-being of employees. Do we understand, guys? Do we understand, good people? The last question that we must know is that we must suggest ways in which businesses can deal with HIV and AIDS as a social, economic issue. I hope we got the questions. So guys, on this essay, I want to give you another essay again, but asking the same thing. You see if you can practice these 3 essays that I want to give you. But the first essay that is going to show up is the one that I gave you. Do we understand? But now I want you to practice 3 of them in order for you to know even the answers that are in question 3 and question 4 and question 1. Do we understand? The second questions that I can give you on the essay is that differentiate between CSR and CSI. You must be able to differentiate CSR and CSI. Do we understand, good people? Number 2, you must be able to explain the impact of CSR on communities. Do we understand? You must be able to explain the impact of CSR on communities. Do we understand, guys, people? Do we understand? Guys, make sure that you subscribe. If you have been subscribed, just subscribe there. Just subscribe. You don't have to take anything from your pocket. You just press the button, subscribe. Do we understand? Okay, guys, let me charge the PC. It may be off, so I don't want stories here. Let me just charge this PC. I'm coming now. I'm not going anywhere. Yes, that's pure maths. That you see on the board. This is geometry. That's pure maths. That's geometry, guys. I was teaching geometry earlier on. That's pure maths. Okay, I'm done charging it now. Okay, so I said, guys, you must be able to differentiate between CSR and CSI and what explain the impact of CSR on communities. Do we understand, good people? And the other one, you must be able to recommend strategies on how businesses and AIDS and unemployment as a socio-economic issue. When we come to the matter of unemployment in South Africa, what can you do? Yes, I also do maths lit, I do pure maths. I do maths lit, I do pure maths. Do we understand with people? So when you recommend strategies on how to deal with what HIV and AIDS and unemployment as what a social economic issue, how can you deal with HIV? You must offer guys counseling programs. You understand? Workshops. Do we understand? When we talk about what the unemployment, think as if like you are a president. What can you do? Job creation. You can create jobs. You can offer bursaries. Do we understand, good people? That's how you can deal with what? You can deal with what? The unemployment. Do we understand? And then the next question that we must know is that you must suggest 5 ways in which businesses could contribute time and effort in improving the well-being of the community. Do we understand? You must know how can a business improve the well-being of what of the community. Do we understand, guys? I even do private classes. Those ones who are willing to join my private classes, you can go to Facebook and text me. And then I will tell you how do I charge, because I'm not gonna teach you for free. I will have to charge you because of my time. You understand? The time that I'm spending, I will have to charge you. Do we understand, good people? So the last essay that I want to give you, remember guys, I'm saying these questions, they are going to make you be fit enough for your examination that you are writing tomorrow. Do we understand, good people? They will say describe. Facebook name is Septembervest. Facebook name is Septembervest. TikTok is Septembervest. Do we understand, good people? They will say describe the relationship between a social responsibility and the triple bottom line. Do you still remember what are the triple bottom line, good people? Can I see in the comment that what is the triple bottom line? What are the triple bottom line? People, planet, profit. Yes. So you must be able to do what? To know social responsibility. When we talk about the link between triple bottom line and what social responsibility, we are simply saying that, guys, for us to get a profit, what do we need? We need people, right? For people to make profit, what do they need? They need the environment. You understand? You cannot just make profit in the air. You need what? You need the environment. And for people to make that profit, people must not harm what? The environment. Do we understand? And people to make that profit there on top, people must not make the profit at the expense of what? Of the community. Do we understand, good people? I hope it makes sense. That's what the link between the triple bottom line. And then we must explain how should we deal with the following social issue or social economic issue. Number one, HIV and AIDS and unemployment. You understand? Because poverty, you're gonna find it in your scenario. So there's no way of worrying about poverty. You're gonna find it in your scenario. Do we understand? And then, guys, we must also advise businesses on how they can they can contribute time and effort in improving what the well-being of communities. Do we understand? Then the last question that I want to give you for you to be fit enough for your essay, you must know how to recommend ways in which business can contribute time and effort in improving the well-being of employees. How can you improve the well-being of employees? You can improve the well-being of employees by doing what? By paying fair wages. Do we understand? By doing what? Paying bonuses as an acknowledgement of the hard work that they did, guys. Do we understand, good people? The answers are in my notes, ne? The answers are in my notes. If you can go through the essay, if you can go through the channel and search CSR and CSI, you will find me there giving you the answers. And if you are not going to listen to what I'm saying, you will remember me and it will be painful. It's a good thing, guys, to remember me laughing that, yo, the things that he said, they showed up and I managed to write them. Do you see? There is happiness. Just imagine saying, and he did say it yesterday. Ish, I didn't listen. Hey, you are no longer going to write the paper anymore. It's your first time and the last time. So now, guys, I want to give you a. Remember, we are dealing with business roles, ne? We are dealing with business roles. We are dealing with business roles. So now I want us to start with the social responsibility. Open the notes of social responsibility now. On the notes of social responsibility, guys, the meaning that they will only want one meaning. On the social responsibility, on the meaning, they will only want one meaning on the note of social responsibility. You must be able to elaborate on the meaning of what? Social responsibility. What is social responsibility? You must be able to give it tomorrow in your examination. Do we understand? You must be able to give the social responsibility in your examination. The meaning. Then when we go to the triple bottom line and the social economic issue, they are going to ask you 4 questions. They are going to ask you 4 questions. They are going to say, explain the relationship between social responsibility and triple bottom line. Explain the relationship between the social responsibility and the triple bottom line. Do we understand, good people? And guys, if you are not going to listen to this, next day you still have a chance. Don't give up. You will upgrade. Upgrading is not a sin, and I love people who upgrade because they show that they want what they want. Do we understand, good people? Explain the relationship between social responsibility and triple bottom line. The video will be saved. I will save the video. And then we move forward now. When we come to social economic issue, they will say, guys, you must identify the following social issue given from the scenario. When you see the scenario talking about the illness, you must know that it's HIV and AIDS. When you see the scenario talking about people who are not working, you must know that this is what? Unemployment. When you see the scenario talking about poverty, you must know that, when you see people who are failing to do what? Who are failing to provide their basic need, you must know that this is what? This is poverty. Do we understand, good people? You must know that this is what? This is poverty. And then you must be also able to suggest ways in which businesses can deal with HIV and AIDS and unemployment and poverty. Then we move to the next one. Do we understand, good people? When we move to the next one, we move to the one that says suggest ways in which businesses can contribute time and effort in improving the well-being of employees and communities. You must know it, guys. Then when we move to CSR and CSI, they are going to ask you 6 questions only. They are going to ask you 6 questions. The meaning that you must know the meaning of corporate social responsibility. You must know the meaning of what? Corporate social responsibility. It's going to be there in your examination. And you are going to remember me. Elaborate on the meaning of social responsibility is going to be there. I believe now the network is best, ne? I believe that the network here is no longer giving a problem. Okay, so now what is happening, guys? The components and the focus areas, purposes, impact, and difference, right? They are going to say explain the purpose of what? Of CSR. You must be able to explain the purpose of CSR. You must be able to explain the purpose of what? Of CSR. Do we understand, good people? You must be able to explain the purpose of CSR. Number 2, you must also be able to explain the purpose of what? CSI. You must also be able to explain the purpose of CSI and be able to explain the purpose of CSR. Do we understand, good people? And guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe on the channel. Just imagine if you weren't subscribed now and next time you want to come back and watch videos, or to find out you forgot the name. I'm sure you would even cry. Do you understand? And then the other question that we must know, they will say name the component of CSR and focus of CSI. You must name the component of CSR and what? And focus of CSI. Do we understand? Do we understand, good people? And those ones who are playing, then you fail your matric. Guys, you will feel like your parents are turning against you. I was telling some of them last that they will even hide bread for you. When you go to the toilet, they will roll the toilet paper for you and they say take, while seeing that this toilet paper is not enough for me. I'm telling you. I'm not playing. I'm telling the truth. So let us move forward now. There is a question that will come saying that discuss the impact of CSR and CSI on businesses and communities. Do we understand? And you must be able to differentiate between CSR and CSI, guys. You must be able to differentiate between CSR and CSI. You must be able to differentiate, guys. Do we understand, guys? I'm done with CSR and CSI now. We are moving to human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. Human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues, good people. Human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. Let us hear the human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. The questions that they are going to ask you, guys. Someone is saying that I must try to be a comedian. Guys, I'm teaching. Yes, some people are seeing me as a comedian. That means I'm a joke, ne? We are not in comedy. There's no time of comedy. We are studying. And then let us move forward now, guys. Let us move forward to human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. Guys, when you write your exam, a person that must mark your paper must see that, yeah, this person knows their story. You understand? But at the moment you start writing the wrong answers, the teachers, they become very strict and see that they want to see the mistakes. But when you try to write the correct answers, they will mark with a relieved heart. Just imagine, first question you are wrong too. You understand? I would love to see that. Oh man, this one I'm sure was making noise in class. You understand? Some of them, they were calling teachers comedian. Human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues, guys. The first question that you must expect under human rights: information, privacy, dignity, equality, freedom of speech and expression, safety, security, and protection of life, guys. Ne? This is what is going to happen. They will say, outline the following human rights in the workplace. Remember, guys, outline the following rights of human place. We have right to information. For you guys to know that tomorrow you are writing business studies at 2 o'clock, that's the right of information. Do we understand, good people? That's the right of what? Of information. You must be able to outline the right of information. For you to know that I go to school at 8 o'clock, I knock off at 3 o'clock. Right of information. For me to tell you that I will be live at 8 to information. For you to know that to information. Do we understand, good people? Yes, for you to know that I'm writing at 2, that's a right to information. Do we understand, guys? It's also a right to dignity. You must have a right to dignity, guys. You have a right to be respected. Do you understand? You have a right to be respected. Everyone have a right to be respected. I hope we understand, good people, when we talk about the right to dignity. Then we have right to equality. When we talk about the equality, guys, we are simply talking about what? Including the previous disadvantaged people. Do we understand? Which is black people. Particularly, we are not only referring to black people, but we are referring to women, disabled people. They were also disadvantaged. Do we understand? Regarding what? Disability, religion, age, and even language. Do we understand, good people? That's what the equality. We are simply talking about that when we do the same work, there must not be any special favors. Do we understand? That are being done. Do we understand, good people? And then we have the freedom of speech and expression. The freedom of speech, you have a right to speak what is in your mind or your heart. You have a right that I'm not happy about certain things. You understand? For me to be your teacher, then you raise a grievance saying that, say, I don't have a textbook, and then I hate you for doing what? For telling me that you don't have a textbook. I'm now violating your right. I must not hate you. I must attend to the grievance that you have gave me in 3 days to 5 days of working days. Do you understand, good people? And I must give you a response that on the request that you made, this is what happened. So the freedom of speech and expression, you can speak what you feel inside your heart. People, that's what we are simply talking about. And then the right to safety, the environment that you must be safe. Also, must provide you with a, do we understand, the hazardous product that we have in the, we understand. I must make you aware of every dangerous areas in the workplace. Do we understand? And you have a right also to what? To security, guys. Do we understand? You have a right to security. If you don't want about your things, you don't want. Do you understand? Good. And protection of life. As I'm saying, right to enjoy being a human being. I hope it makes sense. And you must be able to recommend ways in which a business can deal with what I was mentioning now. I hope it makes sense. So let us move to what we must outline, guys, the economic rights of employees in the workplace. You must know the economic rights of employees in the workplace. Be there. That question, to be understand, good people. Number two, you must name the social rights of employees. You must name the social right of employees in the workplace. Good people. Guys, you must pray for the network. This network, we are not going to entertain it. We must pray for it. We must pray for it, guys. And you must make sure that on everything that you do, you pray. Make sure that you pray, guys. Pray and tell God that, God, you know the paper that they said there. So help me study things that are going to show up. That's what I do. I prayed to God that God reveal on what is going to be shown there. Yes, you have a right during breaks. Understand, guys? So you must make sure that you pray as much as you can, because life is spiritual. That you must know. Life is spiritual. You must pray for people who will be marking your papers. You must pray the paper. You must pray for people who will take the script. Do we understand? Prayer is power. Because what you must know is that there are people who are fighting your success in private. You don't know them. And then when you just wake up and eat, I'm going to write. I'm going to write. You are playing. This is South Africa. Okay, let us continue. You must be able to name the social rights of employees in the workplace. Do we understand, good people? And then the other one that you must know, you must recommend ways in which businesses should promote social and cultural rights in the work. Guys, in matric, there is no coping. No one is going to cope. Once you cope, you will be suspended for 5 years. You will write your materials if they find you coping. You will be suspended for 5 years. Just imagine sitting at home 5 years, the entire 5 years, waiting for a suspension to end. The question was saying that recommend ways businesses could promote the social rights and cultural rights in the workplace. Recommend ways in which business promote the social rights and cultural rights in the workplace. Yeah, guys, I will pray for you. I always pray for everyone that I teach. I always pray for everyone that I teach. Do you understand? I pray for everyone that I teach. The information that I gave you, you must remember it tomorrow in your final examination. You must remember everything that you heard with my voice, or that came out with my mouth, and everything that they taught you at school. It must be protected in God's name. It must be protected in God's name. Your mind is going to function in your mind is going to. There is nothing that is going to stop you from achieving your goals, good people. Nothing that is going to stop you from achieving your goals. I don't care who say what in privacy. I don't care who said what in private places. But I rebuke each and every spirit of delay in your life. I rebuke each and every spirit of disturbance in your life. I rebuke each and every spirit of limitation in your life. I rebuke it in Jesus' name of Nazareth. You are going to make it, good people. There is no one that is going to fail. All of you, we are going to pass. You are protected by the blood of Jesus Christ. By the blood of Jesus Christ. So let us move forward now. The last question that you must know is that you must explain the implication of equality, respect, dignity on businesses. Explain the implication of equality, respect, and dignity on businesses. That's the other question that you're going to find. Then on the topic that is called diversity issues, we are going to find 4 questions. On diversity issues, we are going to find 4 questions. Do we understand? On the meaning of diversity. Diversity, what are we talking about? When we are talking about including different groups of people. Do we understand? We include Pedi, Tsonga, Zulu, white, black, Indian. Do you understand? Include everyone. That what a diversity in the workplace. So they simply want you must be able to elaborate on the meaning of what the diversity in the workplace. Yes, gender, race, disability, culture, language. Do we understand, good people? You must know the meaning of what of diversity. Number two, there'll be a question that will say, name the diversity issue from given scenario. So by reading the scenario, you must see that, okay, maybe they will be talking about young people who are disrespecting adults. Know that, no, this one is an age. Do we understand, good people? Yeah, guys, those ones who are willing to join once off class, you can join it today. It's fine. You can text me on Facebook, Hectama Vest. We will have a class after this. Want to pay for just once. Do you understand, good people? I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense, my good people. And then we move forward to the next question. You must be able to do ways in which business can deal with the diversity issue. Okay, for a one-off class today, I will make it special. Ne? It will be a 70 rand. You are going to pay 70 rand. We come to WhatsApp, all of us, and then we do the video, the rand, and I will also different question papers. I'm going to provide you, make it more special. We are going to pay 50. It's only 50 rand. You're only going to pay 50 rand. I add you on WhatsApp. Then we do a WhatsApp call. Then we push as much as we can. And I will also give you question paper. We are going to paper together, and then we succeed. Do we understand, good people? So discuss the benefit of diversity in the workplace. You must be able to discuss the benefit of diversity in the workplace. Guys, for us to have different people in the workplace, it will help us to do what? Yes, it will be a cross night. It's going to be 50 rand. It will help us to do what? To generate different ideas. We have different people in the workplace. Do you understand? When we have different people, to generate different ideas. I hope we understand. Let's go to the environmental issues and hear what are they going to ask under environmental issues. On the environmental issues, good people, they're going to ask you only 4 questions. On environmental issues, they're going to ask you only, do we understand? What is your question of maths lead? What is your question of a maths lead? What is your question of maths lead? I didn't see you writing the question. I didn't see the question. Yes, when you are writing in March, I will be here. I will be here for you. Do not worry, you are in the right place. So, So on the environmental issues, guys, they are going to say explain the responsibilities of employers in improving what the human health and safety in the workplace. Do you understand, good people? I hope we understand. Explain the responsibilities of employers humans healthy and safety in the workplace. What should they do to improve the humans healthy in and safety in the workplace? You must know that one. In your notes it's written. Do we understand, good people? And then we must also know how to identify the roles of healthy and safe representative from given scenario. Do we understand, good people? And then the other question that we must know how to explain the responsibilities of workers in what in promoting the human's healthy and safety. That question is going to be there. And then the last question on environmental issues, that is strategies, businesses, environment and humans healthy in the workplace. Hope we are understanding what we are talking about. Now, let us move to the note of team performance and conflict management and hear what are they going to ask us on team performance and conflict. Team performance and conflict management, good people. Team performance and conflict management. Team performance and conflict management. You are saying I must repeat the last one on what? On the environmental issues. It says recommend or suggest businesses may use to environment and workplace. It all of us to move to the notes of conflict management, and then the questions that I'm giving you, it must be the only thing that you must study. Do you understand, good people? But if you are choosing to be a lecture, it's fine, and don't believe on what I'm teaching you. The conflict management, guys, the questions that they're going to ask you, they're going to ask you 7 questions. They're going to ask you how many questions? 7 questions. Do we understand, good people? They're going to ask you 7 questions. Number 1, you must know the causes of conflict. On the causes of conflict, they are going to ask you only 2 questions. Do we understand, good people? Number 1, they will say discuss causes of conflict in the workplace. What can cause conflict in the workplace, good people? What can ask you that question, that what are the in the workplace? I hope we are understanding what I am talking about. The possible causes of conflict in the workplace. Poor communication, yes, can cause conflict different. But what is important, guys, remember, business studies, it's split marks. It's split marks. Yes, it's Hectama Vest on Facebook. Business studies, it's split marks. Do we understand? When we talk about split marks, if you will say different ideas, lack of communication, how do you expect them to give you the answer, the marks? Do you understand? You must explain that if there is a lack of communication between between the senior management and maybe the employees, do we understand? You must write everything in full in order for you to get that 2 marks. Do you understand? You are being unfair if you will just lack of communication. Understand? Yes, unfair what workload. They are setting unrealistic deadlines. That thing can also conflict. Do we understand, good people? Those are the things that we are talking about. So you must know the causes of the conflict in the workplace. Number two, you must also, yes, cultural values. That's one of them. You must also advise on how they should handle conflict in the workplace, or conflict resolution steps or tactic. I mean, or techniques. How can they solve the conflict? Good people, you must know how can they solve the conflict. Do we understand, guys? Then we move to the next one on dealing with grievances and difficulties, people or personalities. They will ask you 5 questions on this one. Number one, you must differentiate between grievances and conflict. You must know what is conflict. You must know. Do we understand, guys? Do we understand, good people? Conflict. You must differentiate between grievances and conflict. Number two, you must explain the correct procedure to deal with grievances in the workplace. You must be able to explain procedures to deal with what? With grievances in the workplace. You must be able to do what? To explain the correct procedure to deal with what? Grievances in the place. And then, guys, you must arrange a meeting for those employees who are having problem with each other. Do we understand? I hope we are understanding, guys. I'm thirsty and I don't have water. Water is the way. I really need that water. You must also do what? You must name people or personalities from given scenario. Remember, guys, we have those ones who over agree and the complainer. You must be able to see that, okay, on the scenario this person used. Do we understand? You must see that this one is what? It's always over agreeing. So you must be able to identify from the scenario the personality of people. Do we understand, good people? And then we move forward. You must be able to quote from the given scenario the different ways in which business can deal with difficult employees in the workplace. You must be able to quote from the scenario the different ways in which businesses can deal with the difficult employees in the workplace. Quote from the scenario the different ways in which businesses can deal with difficult employees in the workplace. I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Good. Last one is that they will recommend different ways in which businesses can deal with the above mentioned difficult people or personalities in the workplace. How can they deal with difficult employees in the workplace? You guys, if I was you, I was gonna make sure that I am not going to sleep as much as I can. Do you understand, good people? So that tomorrow you can get great marks. Just imagine if you can get 114 paper 1 and then you also get 114 paper 2. That's your distinction. That is your distinction. That's your distinction, good people. You would never go wrong. You would never go wrong, guys. They say aim high in order to achieve better. But if you will say, I mean, I just want level 3, you will get level 2. Do you understand? Ah, Tell yourself that I wanted distinction. That how did I got distinctions? We are all human beings. It's all about what you have. That's it. You can make it. Changing the mentality that you have. Self that I'm going to do it. Brooms. They told themselves that I'm going to fly with this broom. They managed to fly. So how can you fail to study? Just imagine people fly with brooms. Some of them fly with bread. So how can you fail to pass? Do we understand, good people? I hope we are understanding. Okay, so now let us move to the team performance, guys. The team performance, guys, their criteria training. Do we understand, good people? So they will say, I discuss the following criteria for a successful team performance. What are those criteria? Number one, it's an interpersonal attitude. Your attitude, guys, can influence other people's attitude. Understand? And your attitude can have an impact. Can have an impact on the successful team. Do we understand, good people? And behavior. Do we understand? Just imagine you are a father, you are bumping. Do you understand? What image are you bringing to your kids? They will also bump when they grow up. You understand? So this one in other leading by example. And shared values communication, guys. We are talking about what criteria for you to be a people. And collaboration. The moment you work together, what we are doing here, we are doing what? Collaboration. Do we understand? We are collaborating with each other. Do we understand? That thing can to have what? To be a successful team performance when we collaborate. Guys, you can text me on Facebook. Those ones who are willing to join the class after this live, you can text me on Facebook. And you will be benefiting a lot. Do we understand? Then the other thing that we should know, good people, we must name the following stages of team development from given scenario. Yes, I saw someone writing about stages here. She was correct. I think it's Tsakani Mhlanga. We must identify stages of team development. Hectama Vest on Facebook. Hectama Vest. Do we understand, good people? Which is discuss the team development. We must discuss what the team development. Do we understand, guys? We must also elaborate on the importance of team dynamic theory. Team performance. Do we understand, guys? Refumo, you are not hearing me. If you don't have Facebook, go to TikTok and search me and send me a message. Just that I cannot share my email here. I cannot share my email here. text me on Facebook, and I cannot also my numbers here. Guys, Facebook name is Sektama Vest. Let us move forward, ne? Let us move forward. So we have what? The stages of team development. How can we develop a successful team? Number one, guys, we must discuss the characteristics of successful team performance. Do we understand, good people? We must discuss the characteristics of what? Of successful team performance. Do we understand? Number two, we must name the following stages of team development from given scenario. I said it's what? Team, the importance of team dynamic theories in improving what? We understand, guys? So let us now move to what? Ethics and professionalism. Let us move to ethics and professionalism. We are almost done. Let's just open your notes of ethics and professionalism. What are you going to be asked there? They will be asking you about what business practice, the unprofessional business practice is going to be there. And then the unethical business practice is going to be there. The King Code principles is going to be there. And then the meanings and the difference between what? Ethics and professionalism. So this is how it is. They will say to you guys, elaborate on the meaning of ethical behavior. You must be able to elaborate on the meaning of what? Ethical behavior. Do we understand, good people? You must be elaborate on the meaning of what? Ethical behavior. Able to elaborate on the meaning of ethical behavior. Number two, able to outline the difference between ethical and professional behavior. We must be able to outline the difference between ethical and what? Professional behavior. Do we understand, good people? And then on the King Code principles. On the King Code principles, guys, they are going to be there. Transparency is going to be there. Accountability is going to be there. Responsibility is going to be there. And you must know them, because you'll find a question saying that name the King Code principle. You start not knowing what. You just have to write ability, transparent, and what? And responsibility. And then you go home. Sometimes it can be even 6 marks. Be able to name the transparency, accountability, and responsibility. Those are the what? King Code principles, and they would never leave them. They are there in your examination. You'll see them. And then the other one that they're going to ask you under what? King Code principles, they will say, explain how businesses can apply the King Code principles. You must explain how businesses can apply the principles of what? The King Code principles. Yes, I'm going to do creative thinking. Is the last topic that we'll be dealing with. Then the last question under what? King Code principles. They are going to say advise ways in which business, responsible, ethical, and effective business practices should be what? Behind is geometry. This is geometry. That's geometry. How to solve the problems in geometry. That's pure maths. It's not pure maths. Let us move forward, guys, so that we can finish. Don't worry, I'm going to post the live stream. Do not worry, it's going to be here for you. Yes, I do maths lit. I do pure maths. And then unethical business practice. They will ask you 4 questions. They will say, name unethical business practices. What are they, guys? Sexual harassment. It's one of what? Unethical business practice. Do we understand? Of hours of work. It's also unethical business practice. Do we understand, good people? Those are the things I'm simply talking about. It's unfair advertising. Good Palisa, unfair advertising. Do we understand? And then let us move forward now. We must identify from a scenario. We must identify from the scenario. Guys, there are notes whereby I was teaching. Ne? Just that for now, I don't have my notes in my hand. Do we understand? There are notes that I was teaching. You just go through the channel as I seen Tando here. She's correcting me. You can go through the channel and search on the videos. Do we understand? So that you can find what we are talking about. And good people. Identify from a Number 2, you must be able to explain how the above mentioned unethical business practice pose a challenge to what? To businesses. And you must also recommend various ways in which can deal with the above of what? Unethical business practice. Then, guys, let us move to ethics and professionalism. On ethics and professionalism, they are going to ask you 4 questions. So do you see that, guys, you are benefiting on what I'm saying? They will say you must name sexual harassment, abuse of work time, and unauthorized used place funds and resources. Do we understand? Number 2, you must also identify. Do we understand, good people? You must also explain how the above mentioned unprofessional businesses practice pose a challenge to a business. Understand, good people? And then the other one that you must know advice which could deal with the above mentioned types of unprofessional business practice. Do we understand? Guys, there is no way of going back here. We are all ready. We are all ready. We must be ready. Let us just remove the mind of what being negative. Do we understand? I know that you can make it. Guys, you are very smart. For you to watch my videos, it shows that you are very much intelligent. Do you understand? So I don't want people who will doubt themselves. No one must doubt themselves. So now let us do the last kick of a dying horse, which is what? Creative thinking and problem solving. Do you understand? We're dealing with what? Creative thinking and problem solving, guys. On creative thinking and problem solving, they will only ask you know Hey, these people, listen to this very carefully. You must make sure that you listen to it. The meaning of problem solving and is going to be there. Problem solving and decision making to be there. Creative thinking, problem solving and decision making is going to be there. Number 2, explain the problem steps. Explain the problem steps. What are those problem steps? You must identify the problem, define the problem, identify the possible causes of the problem. Do we understand those things? Identify the alternative solutions. You must implement the best solution. You must also develop an action plan. We must also implement the action plan. You must know them, guys. Going to be there. Do we understand? We have problem solving techniques. Number 1, we have brainstorming. Brainstorming is going to be there. Number 2, Delphi technique is going to be there. Number 3, force field analysis is going to be there. Nominal group technique is going to be there. Those ones which I didn't mention, even look at them. I didn't mention force combination. That means it won't be there. I didn't teacher. That means it's not going to be there. You only do what I only mentioned. I said brainstorming will be there. Delphi technique is going to be there. Analysis is going to be there. And nominal group technique is. Do we understand, good people? I hope we are understanding. I hope we are understanding. Amen siwe. Ndiyabulela guys, ndiyabulela, kuyalebuwa na Ken ndikorebuwa. Oh, rolebuwa. Ka Tshivenda man. Rolebuwa guys. Rolebuwa. Yeah. Azibali. Okay guys, let us finish off, ne? Let us finish off. On these problem solving techniques, I'm going to ask you, they will say, explain or advise business how they can apply the above mentioned techniques to solve what? A complex problem. Please man, come with 100%. I beg you guys. I really beg you, come with 100%. I beg you, good people. Come with 100%. Guys, talk about brainstorming and the nominal group technique. Group, it's whereby you are, they divide groups and come and make your presentation to be understood. But when we talk about brainstorming, they allow you to think silently. Then you do what? You produce your answers. Do we understand? That's what brainstorming, guys. It's where your ideas. That's what brainstorming. Do we understand, good people? It's whereby you doing what? Sharing ideas openly. in an open field. Do we understand? That's how we. And then the last question, guys, that you should know, you must discuss. You must discuss the impact of the problem technique stated below. So, guys, I will just say now, I wish you all the best in your examination, but there are certain questions that I still have to give you under creative thinking. You must know the meaning of creative thinking. What is to be creative thinking? You must know that meaning because it's going to. Number two, you must also know ways in which can promote creative thinking in the workplace. What can create creative thinking in the workplace? Number two, you must explain the benefit or advantages of creative thinking. And remember, there is no disadvantages in creative thinking. Obvious, when you are creative in thinking, better ideas are going to be generated. Do we understand? Good. That's your question paper. That's it. That's the question paper. There is nothing they are going to ask you more than what I said to you. So I hope it makes sense, my good people. So if you didn't hear any of the things that I was saying, watch the video again. You'd never regret. Inkosi nami guys ndiyabulela. Enkosi ndiyabulela kakhulu. Ndiyabulela kakhulu good people. Ndiyabulela. Ndiyabulela kakhulu you. I really appreciate you, and there is someone who gifted me and I still appreciate her gift a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. What I want is to see you happy, January, getting results, celebrating. Do we understand, guys? That's priority. My priority is your success. My priority is your success. If there is no one at your home who have metric, you will one. If one who entered the door of university at your home, you are going to be the first one. If no one is working well at your home, you are going to. Understand, good people. I wish you all the best. May the grace of God be upon you. May the grace of God be upon you. Everywhere you go, the grace of God must overtake you. It must get where you want to get before you get. Do you understand? If there is someone at your home who passed a diploma, you must get a bachelor. If there is someone at your home who passed with 2 distinctions, you must get distinction in all of your subject. People. And what I want to encourage, do not give up. Do not give up. That I want to tell you. Do not give up. Always have a second. Don't allow any situation in your life to bring you down. Don't allow it. Don't allow it, guys. You see now you are still in a uniform. I don't want some of you maybe in 10 years to come being nyaupes. What we want. So you must take advice that you get from others. You must take advice that you get from people. Do we understand? Those who are I am, they once became students, but they uh, respect life. Some of them. I'm not saying, do we understand, good people? Because what I want to tell you about life is that life is fair to everyone. Why do I say that? Life does not teach anyone how to live. Do you understand? But we all learn how to live life. It's up to you, how do you learn life? Do we understand, guys? Life is fair. Guys, for maths lit, I'm still going to confirm with you. If I will be live, you will see by the notification is going to notify you tomorrow. If I won't be live, I won't be live, because maths lit, it will require me to use this board. Then it will require me to use this board, but I will confirm with you when it comes to it. I will first tell you the questions that we practice together. Ask my management when approve. Do we understand? So life does not teach anyone how should you live me. Life is just looking at you like this. It's up to you. How do you tackle life? That's what we must know about life. Everything is in your hand about your life. Everything is in your hand about life. That's what you must know. You have authority over everything that happens in your life. I did do the essays. If you can watch again the video, the essays. Yes, you can live and study now. Those ones who join offline classes or private classes, then we continue. Guys, if you sleep now, make sure that you wake up around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock and then you study. And don't sleep. I'm begging you. Make sure that you wake up midnight and study. Make sure that you wake up midnight and study. Sibonelo, you see now you want us to fight. Why you didn't finish writing the essay? Because the time was enough, Sibonelo. You cannot do that. You must finish writing essays, please. You must finish essays. Guys, I'm leaving now. We're gonna meet again. I will going to meet. Do we understand? But stay in touch with me. I always update on Facebook. Hectamavest. Guys, all the best, guys. All the best with your final examination. And bye, guys. Bye, 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 bye.